Hey everyone, welcome to part 22 of this trophy and achievement guide for Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. This is it, my friends, the big finale where we beat the game and get all remaining trophies and achievements. I want to give a big thank you to all of the channel members who helped to support the channel, and now for the last time, let's dive right into it. Starting off, we want to set up our party properly and get ready for the end of the game. Starting off in the menu, we'll go to Junction and then Selfie, and we want to remove the Pandemona Guardian Force from her so she no longer has it equipped. Then we're going to go over to her abilities and we're going to take away Alert, and in its place we're going to give her Strength plus 60%. And then in the blank spot we're going to give her Speed plus 40%. Now that Selfie's all set up, we want to go back out of here and then we want to go over to Quistis. We're going to hit Junction and then GF. Let's find Pandemona, and that's going to unlock a few new things that we can junction magic onto. So then we'll go over to Auto and Attack. Now we're going to go down and we can remove the magic plus 40%, and in its place we're going to put Strength plus 40%. And in the blank space, we're going to put Speed plus 40%. Now let's have a look at Squall. We're going to go over to him, and we're going to keep all of his Guardian Forces intact, but we're going to go to Ability, and we're going to remove Move Find, and in its place we can put really anything else that we want to. I'm just going to put HP plus 80%, which should get him up to 9,999 HP. Let's back out of here a bit so that we can go to the main menu, and then we're going to go down to Ability. We're going to use the T Magic Refine ability to get ourselves some Thundaga or Thundara magics. Now if you want 100 Dynamo Stones, which is going to be the best item for us, you can simply use Card Mod to turn the Quetzalcoatl card into 100 Dynamo Stones. And each Dynamo Stone will give you 20 Thundagas, so it's very easy to get 100 Thundagas on your characters. But you honestly don't need to go that far if you don't want to. I'm just going to put 100 Thundagas onto Squall, and I'm going to put 100 onto Quistis, and then on Selfie I'm just going to use Thundaras instead. So it doesn't really matter, you just want to be able to do more damage with lightning attacks through your elemental attack junctions, and you definitely want to be able to do a lot of thunder damage for an upcoming boss. Honestly, it doesn't matter that much whether you use those Thundagas or Thundaras, but if you have the ability to use Thundaga, that's the better option, especially on Squall, because he's going to be the main damage dealer throughout the rest of Act 3 and then throughout the entirety of Act 4. So now once you have your Thundagas or Thundaras, go to Junction and Magic, and you want to give everyone's elemental attack junction either Thundaga or Thundara. So Quistis, in my case, got Thundaga, and then Squall is also going to get Thundaga. If you want to spend time giving him more elemental defense, you definitely can, though it's not really necessary for anything going forward. And finally, Selfie has 100 Thundaras, so we're going to put that onto her. Once everyone's all set up, then you want to go down to the Switch option, and you're going to use Junction Exchange to move everything from Squall over to Zell, and then move it back from Zell over to Squall. That puts Squall in critical health, allowing him to get limit breaks very easily, and that will be our main source of damage throughout the rest of the game. We'll go ahead and save the game real quick, and then we're going to leave this hallway and go back out. Now let's go up the stairs to the upper floor. And then go through the door at the top. We'll get on the lift or the elevator to go up to the cockpit. And now we can talk to Irvine to get going. The final destination of Disc 3 is going to be the Lunatic Pandora, which is floating above Tears Point. That's located to the southeast of where we currently are. So we can use the Ragnarok's autopilot feature to fly us over there, and when we get close enough, it's going to kick off a cutscene. Here we go! Let's bust in there! I wonder if we can get through. Don't worry about it. Are the machine guns and main cannon ready? Ready! Let's just fire like crazy and make a big hole. Boom! Shields! Woohoo! In order to leave the Ragnarok, we have to go and use the elevator at the back of the screen. Now we're going to go through the door on the right. Now run away from the screen to go outside of the Ragnarok, and we'll get a cutscene with some familiar faces. Big sound this way. It's probably them, you know. Them? No, impossible. That voice. Ah, it is Squall, you know? Shock. Good. Convenient. That's right. Hand over Renoa, you know? No, I'll never hand over Renoa. And we're taking a loan. I won't let you resurrect Adel either. You're greedy, you know. Not fair, you know. Persuasion. Useless. Seize. She's right, you know. Let's go. And here we have another fight against Raijin and Fujin together. See, just like I said, you know. Really, the only secret to this fight is to use Squall's Renzokuken limit break, and then we're going to be able to defeat each of them with one use of it. So we're going to start by attacking Fujin because she is definitely more dangerous. She likes to inflict negative status ailments on us, and if we can take her out early, it makes things easier. And then after she's defeated, we're going to turn our attention to Raijin. Once again, hit him with the Renzokuken, and he's out of the fight as well. I lost again, you know. And that's all there is to it. 2 Renzokukens and the battle is ours. Because it's a boss fight, we get no experience, and we don't need any AP, but at least we get some Mega Elixirs and some strength ups. Retreat. Temporary. Right. We're not through yet, you know. After the fight, let's go into the menu and then use the item option. We want to find those strength ups that we've been collecting. We got some earlier in the game, perhaps, when we fought Raijin before, back in the town of Balam, and now we got some more. And we're going to use all of them for Squall to raise up his strength a bit more. Then after that, we're going to go over to Junction. Let's choose Squall and then go to Ability. We can remove his HP plus 80%, and in its place we're going to use the counter ability so that when we're attacked, we will counter attack the enemy and do lots of damage to them. Once that's all done, let's go and proceed down to the bottom left corner of the screen. We'll then run forward all the way until we can't go any further, and then we're going to turn toward the left to exit out the left side of the screen. Here are our old friends, Biggs and Wedge. You can talk to them if you want to, otherwise just run up the stairs and go through the tunnel on the left. As you run along the tunnel, there's going to be a split that takes you over toward the back side, and that's the way that we want to go. Keep running toward the left and then go into the building. From here, you want to run down toward the bottom of the screen and then over toward the right. We're going to go toward the right and go inside elevator number 3. Once you make it to the bottom floor, head all the way over toward the left side and we want to go inside elevator number 1. From here, we're going to run over toward the left, and then we're going to start running up. You can use the save point if you want to, but the next boss is super easy, so we'll keep going straight ahead and then over toward the right. We meet again, you know. We'll take you on, you know. Now, no fight. Next time. That's right. We have a surprise, you know. Okay, and now we have a boss, the same one that kicked Zell and Adia out the first time that we were inside the Lunatic Pandora. All we have to do is use one Renzokuken on its main body. This thing is weak to thunder damage, so if you attack it with your normal attacks, you're going to do more damage. If you use that Renzokuken limit break, however, you're not going to take advantage of that extra thunder damage because elemental damage does not apply to limit breaks. Honestly though, it doesn't really matter because just one Renzokuken is enough to cause it to break down, and that's going to be the end of the fight. Because it was a boss, we of course get no experience, but we might get a laser cannon or 4, and you can use that to teach Quistis a new limit break, homing laser. Now let's run forward and go through the door at the back of the screen. We've come to take back Alone. Looks like we got company. Show me your hospitality. Raijin, stop. What's up? We've had enough, you know? Go. Wait outside. Laguna should be here soon. Hey, come on, people! Seifer, we're quitting, you know? Don't know what's right anymore, you know? Exactly my thoughts. I thought we were a posse. Posse. We are. We always will be. Because we're a posse, we want to help you. Whatever it takes to fulfill your dream, we're willing to do. But you're being manipulated, Seifer. You've lost yourself and your dream. You're just eating out of someone's hand. We want the old you back. Since we can't get through to you, all we have now to rely on is Squall. It's sad. Sad that we only have Squall to rely on. Seifer, are you still gonna keep going? Raijin, Fujin, it's been fun. Are you going to continue this night thing? The knight has retired. I guess you could call me a young revolutionary. What do you think you're doing? I've always got to be doing something big. I don't want to stop. I'm gonna keep running. I've come this far, I'm gonna make it to the end, to the goal. There's no way I'm sharing it with you. Now, if you happen to get Odin, this fight begins and ends very differently. Odin? Ha, I won't go down that easy. Show me what you got, Squall. Let me add another scar for you. Well, Odin will normally kill the enemy when he arrives at the beginning of battle, but as you saw, Seifer can reverse that and gets rid of Odin instead. Don't worry though, we got another trick up our sleeve. Seifer is super easy, all we have to do is attack him with normal attacks. We happen to get filled up to full HP at the beginning of the fight, so unfortunately we can't use limit breaks very easily with our party members, but that's okay, normal physical attacks will work just fine, and when you get rid of enough of his health, then another cutscene plays out to end the fight. You gave me the fourth one! Huh? Was it you? Then dodge my sword! Eat this! Ah! Where is the dimensional interval? That's right, Odin is now replaced with Gilgamesh. The main thing with this is that Gilgamesh has multiple attacks he can do, some are very powerful, some are very weak, and he can arrive not only at the beginning of battle, but also anytime during the battle as well. Seifer. Not yet! It's not over yet, Squall! Squall! Renoa? Squall, Seifer's got Renoa! I'm sorry, Renoa, she wouldn't listen. Said she was going to be by your side no matter what. Let's just go after Seifer. We now have to choose a party that does not contain Renoa. Our party right now is good enough. Seifer, stop it! Haven't you done enough? I know you're not like that. Can't go back now. I can't go anywhere. The sorceress has won. That is Ultimecia's wish. Seifer. This officially brings us to the end of Disc 3 or Act 3, and we're prompted to save the game, so let's go ahead and do that and then continue on into Disc 4 to finish the game. Starting off, let's leave out the bottom left corner of the screen, and then there's going to be a structure on the right hand side. We can run over to it, and then we want to climb up the ladder to go up to the second floor. But we don't want to go all the way to the top using the second ladder, instead run up the ramp that looks like this crane arm that will take you up to the top. And then once you're up there, turn toward the right, and then you're going to go all the way to the right side of the screen to exit. Keep running forward along the path and go inside this weird looking building. Seifer! No more, please! Renoa. Seifer, no! Renoa and Adel, the sorceresses as one. Watch closely, Squall. We now have to fight Sorceress Adel while she's holding Renoa hostage. There are two ways to lose this fight, either if all three of your party members go down or if Renoa dies. You need to be very careful about who you're attacking. Luckily, if you just hold down the X button, you should be able to win with this fight because you will automatically be targeting Adel directly and then you won't be targeting Renoa. You do not want to use limit breaks or multi-target attacks for this because we don't want Renoa to take any damage. Every time Sorceress Adel gets to attack, she's going to absorb some of Renoa's health, but if you have a high enough strength stat and speed stat along with the auto haste ability, you may even be able to take Adel down before she gets one turn. Alone, now's your chance. Okay, Alone, just get Renoa back. I was inside Adel, the young Adel. Ultimecia is inside Adel, exactly as she wanted. Okay, this is the showdown, folks. Time compression is about to begin. Love, friendship, and courage. Show 'em what you got. Hey, where do we go? To Adia's house. I'll probably disappear. Just stay by my side. I won't let you disappear. Well, it looks like there's a save point nearby, but if you step on it, well, it's not really a save point. Let's continue going forward, and then we're going to go through the door. And this is where things get kind of weird. We now get into a fight with a series of sorceresses that slowly evolve over time. Luckily, they're very easy, especially if you have the Strength plus 60 or Strength plus 40 abilities on your characters. We should be able to take them out with only one hit, maybe two at the most. So let's go ahead and just start attacking and taking out these sorceresses one after another. I would say that Squall is definitely strong enough to take out any of these sorceresses just by himself with one attack, but Quistis and Selphie might not be quite as strong, so you may need to rely on both of them working together to take out a sorceress. All in all, you should be able to take them all down without them really being able to do anything to you and doing any damage at all. So I'm just going to let this play out for a little while, but then when you see a large snake-like sorceress, that's the last one, and that requires a bit of a different strategy, so I'll come in at that point. This is the final sorceress that is a lot tougher than all the other ones. The main gimmick here is that whenever you attack this last sorceress, she is going to counterattack and do a lot of damage to you. It's for this reason that we are only going to be using Squall to attack here. Because when Squall attacks, the enemy will counterattack, and then we will counterattack its counterattack, which means we'll technically get 2 attacks in every time we attack, and they will get 1 attack in. And all the while, they're going to be reducing our health in steady amounts, and by the time we get to low health, we'll be able to use a Renzokuken to finish the fight without fear of getting killed. Both the Sorceress and Squall are now at low health. When she's at low health, she's going to begin a countdown, and that's actually going to give us enough time to cycle through our party members until we can get Squall's Renzokuken to pop up, and we can finish the fight before she kills us. After the fight, we find ourselves in Adia's house. We just have to run through the door in the background. Now we want to go through the door on the right. And lastly, we'll go through the door in the back. Future seeds. We're fighting across generations. Ultimecia's reign. We have to end it now. Let's run over toward the left side and then run down along the path that used to be down toward the beach. We can run past all the bodies, and at the far end of this area is going to be a large chain, and we can run up the chain. There are some portals on the left hand side that if you jump over there, you'll return to the main world map, but all the side quest stuff we're locked out of at this point, and we already completed it, so there's no reason to go out there. Just keep running up the chain all the way to the top. Then we can go ahead and save the game. After that, we're going to go forward for a scene. Good, we all made it. Whoa, so this is her castle? Finally! I've never seen anything so creepy. You think what's-her-face really lives here? We've come this far, she's gotta be here. So, this is the future. This is where Ultimecia reigns? I don't know what's going on, but since we're still here, I think we still have some time to finish our job. What are we going to do, Squall? We'll divide it into 2 parties. What you want to do is to take your 2 characters who have the lowest level. In this case, it's going to be Zell and Renoa for me, and also having Zell, Squall, and Renoa in a party is good for a later puzzle that we have to solve. Then what we want to do is to use Junction Exchange so that we can put the things from Selphie and Quistis onto our party members, though it really doesn't matter who gets what in this case. We just want to make sure that Zell, Squall, and Renoa are properly junctioned. They're all on the team and they have the lowest average party level that we can attain. And then after that, we're going to close out of the menu and then go up the stairs and into Ultimecia's castle. And here's the main gimmick of the final dungeon. The party's powers have been sealed by Ultimecia's servants. The following powers have been sealed: Item, Magic, Guardian Force, Draw, Command Ability, Limit Break, Resurrection, and Save. The powers will be sealed while the parties are inside the castle. It basically means that we don't have a lot of options right now apart from just regular physical attacks until we fight bosses. Now let's run up the stairs in front of us and find the first boss. Now let's go forward and interact with it to begin the fight. Face my wrath for seeking thy sealed power. Because all of our powers are sealed, really all we can do is use normal physical attacks. We can't even use limit breaks because those are sealed away again. Luckily for us though, we still have all of our junctions set up so we can still do lots of damage with our normal attacks. And because we have the abilities like strength plus 40% or 60%, we'll do many thousands of damage to the boss and we should be able to kill it pretty quickly. After the first phase, the shell of the mask breaks away, and then we just have to do a few more physical attacks to take it down. At some point during this fight, it may summon another creature, but this is a very low level enemy that we can take out very easily. One attack from Squall is more than enough to finish that, and then a few more attacks to the boss and this fight's over. After you defeat one of the bosses in Ultimecia's castle, you get to choose which seal to release, and it is strategically the best choice to take Limit Break. So now we can do normal attacks and limit breaks. We'll begin by going forward and through the big doors at the top of the stairs. We'll run forward onto the chandelier, which will then go crashing down to the floor below. At that point, it's going to raise itself back up toward the ceiling. And now we're going to run over toward the hatch on the ground. We can interact with it and choose to open the hatch. Now let's go down the stairs, and we're going to go all the way down to the bottom so that we can fight another boss. This boss is called Tri-Point. He's very easy. All of his attacks do thunder damage, so if you have thunder junctioned onto your elemental defense, he won't be able to do a whole lot to you. In fact, he might even heal you, but all we have to do is to use Squall's Renzokukin to finish the fight very quickly. Alright, boss number 2 is down. Basically, this episode is just a huge boss rush, isn't it? I kind of lost track of how many we've already defeated, and we've still got a lot more to go. Typically, when you beat bosses in Ultimecia's castle, you're going to get items that you can use for teaching good abilities to your guardian forces if you choose to do that. And then you want to release the seal on the draw command. That's going to be very important for the next boss fight. And now we're going to head back up the stairs all the way to the top. Now we're going to run to the left side of the room and to go through the door on the far side of the left stairs. We then want to run down toward the bottom of the screen, and there's going to be a door on the right side that we can go through. This is the first room where we started off. Let's go back up the stairs, but this time instead of going through the doors at the top, we want to go over toward the right side to go into a different area. Now let's go down the stairs and through the door on the right. Let's run along the balcony over toward the right side of the room and then go down the stairs. There's a green circle on the floor that's necessary for getting through some of the puzzles later on. We can ignore it for now and just go through the door at the back. This is the art room, and we need to find 12 different pieces of artwork around this room and inspect them. The first is immediately on the right side, and it says Intervigilum, or sleep. Now let's go past the stairs, staying on the bottom floor. On the right hand side is going to be another piece of artwork called Eucidium, or judgment. Now let's inspect the next piece of art right next to us, and this is going to be called Inundantia, or flood. After you inspect that, then go over toward the left side of the door to inspect another piece of artwork. This one is called Ignis, or fire. That's all the ones that we have to inspect on the bottom floor. Now let's head up the stairs to the upper level. We'll get to the top, and there's one right at the top of the stairs that we can inspect. This one is called Vigil, or Watchman. Next we'll go over toward the left. We can inspect one on this wall. And this one's called Viator, or Messenger. We'll then go around the corner, and we can inspect this piece of art. This one's called Venus, or Love. Keep going toward the left to go into another area. And then we can inspect a few more pieces of art over here. There's one on the right side. This one's called Xiphias, or swordfish. Let's go and look at the one in the middle. This one is Zerum Pelene, or red clothes. Go over toward the left side, we'll inspect this artwork. And it's called Xistus, or tree-lined road. Finally, there's one more on the far left wall. We can inspect this portrait. It's called Enaudax, or cowardice. We're done with the portraits on this side. Let's head back over toward the stairs. And now we're going to go past the stairs over toward the right. There's one more piece of art here on this wall. Let's go ahead and inspect it. This one's called Vividarium, or garden. If you look from this upper balcony down at the floor below, you'll see that there's a big clock there. The shorter and thick arm is the hour hand. It's pointing to the 8. The longer thick hand is the minute hand, that's pointing to 4, and the long thin hand is the second hand, that's pointing to the 6. So in order, that is 8, 4, and 6. That gives you a clue that helps you to answer the puzzle at the bottom of the stairs, but luckily the answer is the same all the time across all playthroughs, so I can just give you the answer, but you do have to inspect all the portraits first. If we look at the big portrait on the wall opposite the stairs, we can see that there's a portrait, but we don't know its title because it's too faint to read. But we get to say what it is based on those Roman numerals. So the first answer that we have to choose is Vividarium. Second, we'll choose Intervigilum. And third, we'll choose Viator. So in order, the answer is Vividarium et Intervigilum et Viator, which translates to In the Garden Sleeps a Messenger. And that is the correct answer for all the playthroughs of this game. As soon as we get that puzzle right, then we're going to get a boss fight that spawns right behind us. So let's go over and interact with him. This boss is called Trauma, but the only thing traumatic about this fight is how bad we're gonna beat him. Start off by having Zell draw and cast Meltdown onto him. That's going to reduce his vitality or his defense all the way down to 0. Then we're going to cycle through our party members until we get to Squall's Renzoku-kin, and we'll use one Renzoku-kin to finish him off. This is why it really helps to have that average party level be as low as possible, because the enemy's health scales with your average party level. Having a low party level means he won't have much health, and Squall has a big advantage with as much damage as he can do with his attacks. And that means that we can basically one-shot all the bosses in this tower. After the fight, we can unseal another ability, and we're going to choose Magic. And now we're going to go through the door at the back of the room. We'll keep going forward past the glowing green circle on the ground and go down to the lower level. From here, we're going to go through the door on the left side. There's a shiny key over here in the foreground, so let's go over and pick it up. And we received the prison key. But at that time, another boss spawns right behind us. This boss is pretty similar to the last one, but there's a bit of a twist here. We still want to begin by using the magic Meltdown to try to lower his vitality to 0. The problem is that it's not guaranteed to work. In fact, there's a good chance that as soon as you use Meltdown on him, he's going to say that magic is useless. If that happens, then just go ahead and keep casting Meltdown on him until it sticks. It might take a couple tries, but eventually you're going to see his sword turn purple, and that's your indication that his vitality is now at 0, and we can begin to attack. Alright, we got Meltdown to stick, so let's switch it over to Squall and get his Renzoku-kin limit break to finish the fight. There you go, another boss down, no problem. After the fight, we get to choose another ability to unseal. We're going to take Item this time. Now let's leave this room using the door on the right. And then we'll go back out the door on the bottom left corner. Let's run forward and ignore the green circle. The green circle basically just allows us to change our party members or switch the party entirely to the other group. We don't need to do that right now though we will be doing that later on. We'll run through the art room and then back up the stairs and go out to the main room. From here, we're going to go toward the distance and then over toward the left. Now we're going to go back down the stairs and run all the way to where our other party members of Irvine, Quistis, and Selfie are waiting for us. We'll stand in the green circle and then choose Switch to the other party. Now we'll go into the menu and go down to Switch. We can't switch the party members, but we can Junction Exchange, Irvine, and Squall. And then we're going to go Zell to Quistis and Selfie to Renoa. So now this party has all of the junctions from the previous party. All we really need is the Encounter None ability because we're not going to be fighting anything with this team. Now we're going to run through the door on the left hand side and then continue to run up toward the back of the room and then go through the door on the right. Let's keep going over toward the right hand side, and then we want to go stand in the green circle over there. When you do that, it's going to say the lever has been depressed. Luckily, it got some therapy and it's doing a lot better. We'll switch to the other party now, and then once again, we're going to go into the menu, and then we're going to choose Switch, and then move all of our junctions back. So Zal is going to go with Quistis, Selfie to Renoa, and Squall to Irvine. We still want Squall to be at low health so that we can hit those Renzokukins more easily, but we can go to our items and then we're going to choose an elixir. We happen to have many of them still, and we'll give one to Zal and one to Renoa to get them back up to full health. Once your health is all good, then leave the menu and we want to go up the stairs in front of us to the upper level. We'll go through the big doors at the top, and because the other team is down below holding that switch down, we can run across the chandelier without it falling over. So let's go to the back and through the doors out the back of the room. Here's another boss named Krista. All we have to do is go over and talk to him. He's got kind of a big mouth on him though, so we should probably put him in his place. Show me what you got. You'll regret fighting me. Okay, so starting off, we need to have one of our party members like Zell use the Meltdown magic to lower his vitality all the way. Then we're going to have Squall use Renzokukin on him. The problem is that every time you attack him, he's going to counterattack for a lot of damage, so he's going to hit Zell pretty hard, and then when you actually do get rid of all of his health, he's going to do a final attack, and that's going to be Ultima, which hits all party members for a lot of damage. Now luckily, Zell and Renoa have a lot of health, but Squall doesn't have enough to survive this, so he's going to go down, but we'll still win the fight because Zell and Renoa are still on their feet. And that's all there is to this boss fight. Let's go ahead and get our rewards at the end, and then we can unlock a new ability. It seems almost too perfectly timed, but this time we're going to unlock the Resurrection Seal, so now we can actually bring Squall back from the dead. And let's go ahead and do that. We can open up the menu, we can go down to Item, and we can use a Phoenix Down to bring him back while still being in critical health, allowing him to continue to get those Renzokukins easily. If you want to give him a little bit more health, that's okay. We can give him a potion or two. We don't want him to go out of critical health, but we don't want him to be so low that he risks dying. We'll head back into the tower and then run across the chandelier so that we can go out the bottom left corner of the screen. Now we're going to go down the stairs to the lower level, and then out the door toward the left. We'll run up toward the top and then go out the door on the right. This will take us to the same area where the other party is waiting, but we don't want to interact with them. Instead, we want to go through the door at the back of the room. We'll keep going forward past the green circle on the ground, and then we want to go into the chapel at the back. From here, we're going to go over toward the right side and climb the stairs. Now on this bridge, if you run, it's going to knock the key off the bridge. So instead, hold down the circle button to walk over there, and then if you get close to it, you can interact with it to pick it up. But just be careful, because if you're out of alignment, you can continue to knock it off the bridge. Now, it's not the worst thing in the world if you knock it off the bridge, because you are able to collect it later on. In fact, it falls exactly in the area where we need it to be, but it is a little bit cleaner if you can just pick it up the first time that you come here without having to search for it later on. So go ahead and carefully grab that armory key and then head back down toward the bottom of the screen. We need to run way back toward the beginning of this place, so run down and then through the bottom of the screen. Continue to run down toward the bottom. From here, run toward the screen and then over toward the left to go through the door. And then down toward the bottom before going out the door on the right. We're then going to go back up the stairs toward the top. And now over toward the right. Go down and through the door on the right. Run along the balcony and then go back down the stairs. Ignore the green circle and go through the door at the back. Let's go through the art room and through the door at the back. And then proceed forward past the green circle and down to the lower level. From here, you want to go over toward the door on the right-hand side of this area. That's going to be the armory, and we can use the armory key to open it. If you happen to have dropped the armory key off of the bridge, then you'll actually find it in this room. You just have to search in the water for it to find it, and then you can unlock the armory door. Now let's go inside and we'll find another boss here. This boss is a little bit trickier because it's got multiple forms, so let's go ahead and fight it and I'll show you how to beat him. Starting off, he looks like just a head with two hands sticking out of the ground. These guys are actually pretty weak. It's actually probably a waste to use a meltdown on him, but it does work to get rid of his vitality, and then we can guarantee that we can get rid of him with a Renzokuken. If one of those hands attacks Squall, he can counterattack it and probably kill it with one hit. Now that the face has been melted down, we can use that Renzokuken to destroy it. But we do have to take care of that other hand as well. That's where Renoa comes in. I happened to get a critical hit that destroyed that hand, but if she's not strong enough, then her together with Zell or maybe another normal attack from Squall is enough to take it down. Now you need to be a little bit careful here because when the enemy is destroyed, it's going to reform and come out of the ground as a bigger, stronger monster. The problem now is that if we attack it, then it's going to use an ability called Counter Twist on us, and it's going to do some damage. Unfortunately, I had already locked in attacks with both Zell and Squall, so that means that I'm going to do normal attacks against him, and then he's going to Counter Twist me to do some damage. It's not that much damage, so we can definitely survive, but it's worth knowing that when you get close to the end of Phase 1, you definitely want to slow down and not just have attacks locked in, otherwise you'll receive unnecessary damage. At this point, our boss strategy is the same. We're just going to use a meltdown on him again to get rid of his vitality, and then Squall can finish him off with a Renzokuken. If you look carefully, you'll see that both Renoa and Zell are kind of glowing black. That means that they're cursed and are unable to use their limit breaks. Luckily, it didn't affect Squall though. If it had affected Squall, you can use something like a remedy in order to remove that curse, and then you're still able to use his limit breaks. There you go, another boss down. That one was pretty easy. And then we're just going to collect our rewards and then unlock a new ability that had been sealed before. When we get to release a seal, I'm going to choose the command ability. Squall's got some pretty low health at this point, so what I want to do is go into the item menu and I can just use one of my elixirs on him to get his health all the way back up to full. Don't worry, we're going to lower it again in the future before the next boss fight, but just take some time to get your party members back to full health before going on to the next battle. Let's go ahead and leave the armory. And we've got to run all the way back to the courtyard that was just before the chapel. So let's leave out the bottom left corner of this area, then run past the green circle and go out the bottom. We're going to go through the art room toward the bottom of the screen, and then go up the stairs across the balcony to the left. We'll run toward the distance and then over toward the left. And then we're going to go down toward the lower level. Go down and through the doors on the left. And then go up toward the top before exiting out the door on the right. Once again, proceed through the door at the back of the room. This area has a hidden key with no discernible way to know where it is. It's kind of just halfway between the fountain and the outside wall on the lower left corner of this area. So go ahead, search this area for the treasure vault key, walk around, just keep hitting the X button until you find it. And then once you have the treasure vault key, we're going to return the way that we came out the bottom of the screen. Now proceed down toward the bottom and then head over toward the left to go back through the door, and we're going to go back to the main part of the hall. So go down toward the bottom and then exit out the right hand door. And then we're going to go up the stairs. Now go toward the left to go into a different area. Keep running around and then go through the door on the left. In this spot, we're going to go forward and then run around the circle here. That will take us down some stairs to the lower level. We can ignore the green circle for now and instead just go through the door. Go down the hall a little bit, sticking toward the left-hand side, and eventually you'll use the treasure vault key, and that will allow you to access the next area. So we'll go inside the treasure vault, but don't do anything just yet. We can prepare for the next boss fight by going into the menu, going down to Switch, and then Junction Exchange, Squall with Irvine, and then give everything back to Squall. That's going to put him in lower health and get him ready for the next fight. You'll notice that there are 4 treasure chests that kind of look like coffins in the back. 1 is open, 2 is closed, 3 is closed, and 4 is open. The goal is to get all 4 of those treasure chests open, but every time you open one, it affects the other chests nearby it. So there's a very easy solution to solving this, however. All you have to do is go and open them in order, starting on the left with number 1, then go to 2, 3, and 4. By the time you open them all, then you'll have succeeded. Let's start by going over to number 1, and we're going to close it, which will also open number 2. We can then close number 2 to open up 1 and 3, close 3 to open up 2 but close 4, and then open 4 that will also open number 3. And now that all 4 of the chests have been successfully opened, the next boss will spawn, and we can go over and interact with him. I am Catoblepis. What do you humans plan to do against the likes of me? Well, it's pretty simple, really. We're going to have one of our characters cast Meltdown on him to reduce his vitality to 0, and then we're going to have Squall use his Renzokuken Limit Break to finish the fight. The only problem is that when you defeat Catoblepis, he's going to have a final attack casting Meteor on your party. Now, luckily for us, Zell and Renoa are just fine on their health, so we're not too worried about them. However, Squall is a little bit lower on health, and if he takes too many of those random attacks, he could go down. Not a problem though, we can just bring him back. There you go, Catoblepis is destroyed. We've gotten rid of most of the bosses so far. We've just got a few left. We get to release another seal, and this time we're going to choose the save option. Okay, after that, let's go ahead and leave this room out the bottom. And then we can run toward the camera to go into a different area. This time we're going to step into the green circle and we're going to switch to the other party. Now we're going to go into our menu and then down to switch. And we're going to use Junction Exchange with Irvine going to Squall, Zell to Quistis, and then Selphie to Renoa. Don't worry though, we're not going to fight with these characters, we just want to make sure that we have Encounter None on them so that we don't get into any pesky fights. Now we have to bring the Irvine party over to where the Squall party is. To do that, we're going to go out the left side door. And then we're going to run toward the bottom before going out the door on the right. Now we'll go up the stairs. And then over to the left. Run down the balcony and through the door on the left. Now let's circle around the room going down the stairs, and we're going to go past the Squall party and go through the door at the bottom. Keep running down the hall past the treasure vault room, and then you're going to go through a door at the end. From here, we're going to step forward and into the green circle. This is actually an elevator, and it helps us to progress in the dungeon. We'll switch back over to the Squall party and then go down to switch, and then we're going to Junction Exchange Zell to Quistis, Selphie to Renoa, and then Squall and Irvine. Now it's time to make our party healthy by going to Item, and then we're going to use a Phoenix Down to bring Squall back to life, and now we can use some elixirs to get them back up to full health. I know it's a little bit picky, but when we resurrected Squall, his health was too low, and now it's too high, so let's go to Junction Exchange and move everything from Squall to Irvine, and then back, and now he has more health while still being in critical health. Okay, let's leave this area by running up the stairs and then through the door on the right. We'll run over toward the right-hand side, and then keep going toward the right to go into another area. Head down and go through the door on the right. We'll go around the balcony and then down the stairs and through the door at the bottom. Once again, we'll go through the art room straight ahead and out the door in the back. And then we want to go up the left-hand stairs up to the top level and then over toward the left. This will take us outside onto a long walkway. There is actually a save point throughout here, so go ahead and save the game if you want to, and then head over toward the left. Now we're up above where Irvine's team is, and we can step inside the green circle. Because our party physically weighs more than their party does, then we're able to lower the elevator down. And now we can switch party members over to Irvine's team and run through the door on the left. We can then go down here and grab the floodgate key off the ground, and then return to the previous area. Get back on the elevator and then switch to the other party. From here, we're going to take Squall and move him off of the elevator, and now the other team will lower themselves down as well. Let's exit out the bottom left-hand corner, and then we can run down the hallway past the treasure vault room into the previous area. From here, we can step onto the green circle and then switch over to the other party. And now we're going to run this party the same way that Squall's team just went. We'll leave that room, run down the hall past the treasure vault room, and we'll join up with Squall in this previous area. Now we'll step into the circle and switch back to the other party. Okay, from here what we're going to do is to run up the stairs and then go out the door on the right. We then need to go forward and then over toward the right. Now let's keep going right to get into a different area. Go down the stairs and through the door on the right. Run along the balcony, go down the stairs and through the door at the back. We're going to keep going forward through the art room and through the door on the back. And then we're going to go down to the lower level. Now that we have the floodgate key, we can go next to the door leading left and we can interact with this switch. It'll unlock the switch and now we can pull on it, and that's going to drain the water. Once that's done, we're going to backtrack the way that we came up the stairs. And then we're going to go past the green circle toward the bottom left corner of the screen. Run through the art room toward the bottom. And now go up the stairs, across the balcony, and through the doors on the left. We're now going to run up away from our perspective and then over toward the left. Now run to the bottom of the screen. And we're going to go down and through the doors on the left. Run up the hallway and then go through the door on the right. Let's go through the door at the back of the room. Now that we're in the courtyard, we're going to go past the fountain and then through the doors into the chapel. What we need to do is to run toward the back of this area, and there's going to be a large organ over here that we can interact with. When you use the organ, it will show you 4 buttons. You have to press and hold those 4 buttons down at exactly the same time. Here's an example of it not working well. And now here's an example of pushing all 4 at the same time. There's a very slight difference as to when the sound actually ends. You want to listen to the very end of that note. If all the 4 notes stop at the same time, you're probably good, but if it sounds like they stopped at different times, then you got to try again. Ultimately, if you leave the chapel and go over toward the right hand side, there's going to be some bars over the doors here that will have disappeared if you do that correctly and get all 4 notes to stop at the same time. So if you can do that, then you can run along the walkway here, and then we're going to go to the back area where we can find a box on the ground. And if we open up this box, it's going to contain a Rosetta Stone, a very important item for teaching a Guardian Force the ability times 4 ability. So now we're going to go to item, and we're going to find some amnesia greens, and we're going to choose Ifrit. We're going to have him forget something like Guardian Force HP plus 20%. That'll free up a slot, and now we can go back to the items, and now we can find that Rosetta Stone probably at the end of the item list, and we can use it on Ifrit to teach him ability times 4. Once he has that, we're going to go over to Junction, choose Squall, go to ability, and now we have a 4th ability to choose from, so we can put a lot of things in here if you want to do your HP or a little bit more strength. It doesn't really matter, we're going to make some adjustments to that soon anyway. But now all 3 of our party members have 4 abilities available to them. Let's leave out the left hand side and go back to the previous area, and then we're going to run over toward the left and then down. We want to go back down the hallway toward the end. And then we'll go back into the chapel. Let's go up the stairs on the right hand side. And now we'll go across the bridge. Stick toward the left and you can go through the door. Now we have a very long spiral that will take us all the way up to the top, so just keep running around until you get to the very top of this area. Keep going around and around the circle up to the top. Here you'll see that there's a bell swinging back and forth. You want to go up toward the top, but not all the way up to the top. Stick over here toward the left side of the bell, and then when it gets close, press X and your party can jump onto the bell and swing across. And then you can go through the door on the other side. Here's the final boss that we need to defeat here. This is Tiamat, so we'll go over here and interact with him. He'll fly to the other side and we'll get into a fight. Now this guy's actually pretty easy because he won't attack us directly. He'll start counting down to a move that's called a Dark Flare. He's basically got to spell it out before he uses it. That gives us more than enough time to do our normal strategy, have someone cast the Meltdown spell on him to reduce his vitality, and then have Squall use his Renzoku-kin to attack. We didn't finish him with the first one because we didn't get many attacks and we didn't get a finisher. That's okay, we've still got plenty of time. We'll use another Renzoku-kin and this one will be enough to finish him. With all the bosses defeated, we can now unlock the last seal, and this is going to be the Guardian Force seal. But now we have to take out one more enemy, Omega Weapon. To do that, we have to run back into the tower, and then we're going to use that same bell trick to jump across the gap, and then we're going to go all the way back down to the bottom of the tower. So just keep running around the circle all the way to the bottom. Again, keep going down the circle to the bottom. And finally, we'll keep going all the way to the bottom. Let's exit out the door on the left. From here, we're going to go back across the bridge toward the bottom left corner of the screen, and then down the stairs and out the bottom. We'll run through the courtyard, past the green circle, and down toward the bottom. Now let's run over toward the left-hand side. We're going to go through the door on the left. Keep running down toward the bottom and then go through the door on the right. And now we're going to exit the castle completely by going out the bottom of the screen. If you haven't beaten the bosses yet to unlock the abilities, the seal is temporarily broken, which is nice because that would allow us to save at any point if we wanted to. Now let's go down to ability. And then we're going to choose card mod. Go to the end of the list and we're going to find the Zell card and we'll turn it into 3 hyper wrists. After that, you want to find the Bahamut card that we got after we defeated Bahamut in the Deep Sea Research Center, and that's going to allow us to turn that card into 100 Mega Elixirs, which is all the healing that we could ever hope for. And finally, we can refine the Gilgamesh card into 10 Holy Wars, which are very useful for the upcoming fights. We got the Gilgamesh card from Quistis as a part of the CC group side quest that we needed for a trophy, so you should definitely have that. And then we're going to go over to item and we're going to use Amnesia Greens, and we're going to make Ifrit forget another ability, such as Summon Magic plus 30%. And now what we want to do is to go over and find that Hyper Wrist, and we're going to use it on Ifrit to teach it the Strength plus 60% ability. If you really want to, you can find another one of Zell's Guardian Forces and have it forget an ability so that it could also learn Strength plus 60%, but it's not really necessary. It helps to have your items sorted or arranged properly to keep these holy wards near the front of the list, and also to keep your elixirs and mega elixirs handy too, just in case you need them. Okay, let's leave the item menu, and instead we're going to go up to Junction and then choose Zell. Let's go over to Ability, and we're going to remove the Revive command, and in its place we'll put Item. Now let's look at his abilities on the bottom of the list. We definitely want Auto Haste, but we don't really need Strength plus 40%, so we can put Initiative on as well, just to make sure we get that first attack in. And then we can replace Vitality plus 60% with something else, probably a Strength plus 40% or even 60% is good. You can also do Evasion plus 30% to make you dodge a lot of attacks, and Speed plus 40% is good too. Now over to Squall, we're going to keep his Draw Magic and Item. He's got Auto Haste, Strength plus 40%, gets replaced by Strength plus 60%. He also has Counter, and we're going to keep that HP plus 80% on him as well. Finally, let's look at Renoa, and we'll see that all of her abilities are just fine. She's got Auto Haste and Counter none, Strength plus 60%, and Speed plus 40%. In general, the strategy is to be able to act very quickly, to hit hard when you need to, and to supplement with magic and items as necessary. Alright, we're all set up and we're feeling pretty good. Let's go ahead and save the game just in case, and then we're going to continue on back into the castle so that we can defeat Ultima Weapon. Your second team's party's position gets reset here, which is fine. We can go through the door on the left, and then we're going to go down the hallway to the end before we go through the door on the right. Now let's go through the door at the back of the room. And this takes us to the courtyard. We'll step on the green circle and then switch over to Irvine's party. And now we're going to run up the stairs and then over toward the right-hand side. Now we don't have encounter none on this team, but that's okay. If you get into a fight, just run away from them. We're going to go down the stairs and through the door on the right. Now we're going to go across the balcony and down the stairs, but before we go through the door at the back, we actually want to go toward the bottom of the screen and we can interact with this rope that's hanging down. That's going to cause the bell to ring and monsters can be heard roaring far away. This starts a 60-second timer that counts down. This is all the time we have to initiate a battle against Omega Weapon. So quickly run over to the green circle on the ground and then switch back over to Squall's party. We're then going to run forward and we're going to go into the chapel. Omega Weapon is waiting for us here, so let's run over and initiate a battle against him. Now the beginning of the fight usually starts the same way. He's going to use level 5 death to kill off any party member whose level ends in a 0 or a 5. He can also do some physical attacks as well. We're going to begin by quickly using the meltdown spell to reduce his vitality to 0. Then we want to find either the aura spell or use an aura stone on Squall to give him the aura status. Next, we're going to use a Holy War. This is what we got from card modding the Gilgamesh card to basically make our party invincible. Everything will miss. You have to apply aura before the Holy War because otherwise the Holy War will prevent the aura status. Now we're going to have Squall use his Renzoku-kin to do lots of damage to him. It's not enough to kill him with just that one attack, but he's definitely hurting bad. And here's his first attack, that level 5 death that's going to miss all of our party members because no one is a multiple of 5. Thanks to the aura status, it's much more likely that we'll get limit breaks, and those limit breaks will be stronger. In Squall's case, we're going to do more attacks with him, and then it's much more likely that we're going to get his ultimate limit break, Lionheart, assuming we have the appropriate weapon, which we got a long time ago. At this level, Omega Weapon still has a little less than 300,000 HP, so it's no joke. But even if you don't get Lionheart to activate, you still have more than enough time to get multiple Renzoku-kins out before that Holy War runs out. And you've got multiple Holy Wars too, so it doesn't really matter. You really shouldn't take any damage in this fight at all. Just use those Holy Wars to make yourself invincible, keep using Renzoku-kins, and you'll finish the fight no problem. And then you'll also get the Omega Destroyed trophy or achievement for defeating the Omega Weapon Super Boss. And now it's time to finish the game and get our last 2 trophies. Let's go ahead and go back up the stairs on the right hand side. Continue across the bridge and then go over to the door on the left and we'll go through it. Once again, we gotta climb all the way back up to the top of the tower, so keep going around and around until you get to the top of this area. Again, keep going up the spiral staircase till you get to the top. This time we get to ignore the bell. All we want to do is to keep running around until we get to the very top. When you get to the top, exit out the right-hand side. Go toward the right and then down. And now we're going to go toward the left across the hands of the clock, and then we can interact with the ladder over here to climb down to the bottom. Then run over to the right, and then you're going to find another ladder over here that we can climb down. This will take us to a very long walkway. Just run into the distance and you'll go into a different area. Let's stop at the save point to save the game. Now let's run to the doors at the back of the hallway. This is it. We're going to choose Get It Over With, Fight Her Now. Seed. Seed, seed. Seed, seed, seed. Curse all seeds. Swarming like locusts across generations, you disgust me. The world was on the brink of that ever-elusive time compression. Insolent fools. Your vain crusade ends here, seeds. The price for your meddling is death beyond death. I shall send you to a dimension beyond your imagining. There I will reign, and you will be my slaves for eternity. Ha 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 ha. Whom shall I exterminate first? I'll start with you three. Ultimecia will choose 3 random party members out of our 6 to fight. Now, only 3 of them are junctioned, which means the other 3 are pretty useless to us. In the end, we really don't want to keep them around for too long. We really need only 1 of our properly junctioned party members. I happen to get 2, both Zell and Squall. I'm going to make sure that my party members are properly healed up by using either an elixir or a mega elixir. If one of our party members who isn't junctioned dies, like Irvine, you do not want to resurrect them. In fact, you can even have your own party members attack the non-junctioned party members to knock them out faster. And then what's going to happen is that they will eventually be absorbed into time, which means that they are going to be replaced by another party member. At this point, we've got a chance for us to get Renoa or another party member like Selphie or Quistis. Ideally, we'll get Renoa and then have all of our party members who are junctioned together on the same team, and that's when we're going to be at our strongest. Just keep up your health and get rid of any of your status ailments by using the elixirs or the mega elixirs, and then just keep attacking her until she's defeated. Do not use Meltdown on her during the first stage of the fight, because even though you'll do more damage to her, she can actually use Meltdown on your party members as well, and that's not so good. You could remove that with an elixir, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's better just to attack her normally. You can do tons of damage to her, and the first phase of this fight does not last for very long. And then she's going to summon the most powerful Guardian Force, who is named Griever. Okay, now we're going to go back to our normal strategy of using Meltdown to lower their vitality to 0, and then we're going to keep attacking with our party members. We don't get the benefit of using our limit breaks here, but we can still do tons of damage with just our normal physical attacks. One thing that's a little bit annoying is that he can blow away stacks of our magic. In this case, all of Squall's cures were blown away. Luckily, those weren't junctioned onto anything. But if he blows away something that's junctioned onto your stats, it means that your stats will get lowered in the middle of the fight, which isn't very good. We'll just keep attacking normally, healing up as necessary using our elixirs and our mega elixirs, and we're gonna wait until Irvine is replaced with another party member. Ah yes, here you see the angel comes out and Irvine is no more. He's going to be absorbed into time and he'll be replaced by another party member. I got pretty lucky and it was actually Renoa who decided to join the battle. Now that I have all three of my properly junctioned party members, the fight becomes pretty easy. Let's use a Holy War to protect all of our party members, and then we're going to just keep attacking him until we deplete all of his HP. He has a very powerful finisher attack. It's actually the same as Quistis' ultimate limit break. It's called Shockwave Pulsar. And granted, Shockwave Pulsar looks pretty cool, and also it's very strong. In fact, it could be enough to kill Zealot or Renoa, but because we have Holy War activated, it's not going to do anything to us. I shall junction myself unto Griever! Conveniently, our Holy War remains active even though this is a different part of the fight, and we can just use the Meltdown spell to get rid of its vitality, and then we just go back onto the attack and use our normal attacks to deplete all of its HP. This whole time we shouldn't be damaged at all thanks to the effects of Holy War. It seems that we have successfully cut off the bottom half of its body, but it's still got a little fight left in him, emphasis on little. All we have to do is do a few more attacks and this fight's going to be over. I am Ultimecia. Time shall compress. All existence denied. She began the fight by using the attack Hell's Judgment, which normally reduces all of your character's HP down to the number 1. But if you're still under the effects of Holy War, it doesn't do anything to you. If it does hit you, just use a Mega Elixir and you can get yourself back up. Or you can do a little bit more of an advanced strategy that I'll show you in a second. You definitely want to use that Meltdown spell on her to lower her vitality again, just so that we can do more damage. And you may have noticed that there are actually two body parts. There's the upper part and the lower part. The upper part has way more health than what the lower part does, and we can honestly kill that lower part with just one attack. The problem is that if you kill off the lower part, it makes the top part get a little bit trickier and will do stronger attacks. So I'm just going to ignore the bottom part and focus on destroying the top section. The top section at this level has a little under 80,000 health, and honestly, that's not so bad. When you add up all the damage that all 3 party members are doing in a single round of attack, we're doing close to 15,000 damage. So you can probably figure on doing about 6 rounds of attacks and then she should be destroyed. But even though she seems very easy, you still have to be a bit vigilant. Once you get rid of all of her health, she's going to start talking, and then she's going to continue talking every time you attack and do at least 100 damage. And the goal is to get her to talk 5 times, but even though her health is all the way gone at this point, she can still attack, and she can do some pretty nasty attacks as well. For instance, she can still use Hell's Judgment to lower all of your party members' health down to 1, and because the Holy War that I had active ran out, this one actually is going to hit me. But that's not such a bad thing. Because our health is so low, it should be very easy to get limit breaks, so we can go ahead and use them, although it's really not necessary at this point. Normal physical attacks will do, but once you get down to just 1 health, you can actually use a Holy War in order to lock in this low health state so that none of her future attacks can do anything to us. We're now completely safe and able to get as many of our limit breaks as we want. Also, if the screen says draw Apocalypse, you need to be careful because she's going to draw the Apocalypse spell out of her lower half and then cast it onto your party. And that's an extremely devastating attack. It will definitely kill our entire team if we're not careful. But because we're under the effects of Holy War, it doesn't matter anyway. We're completely protected against it. We just have to do a few more attacks and then the fight will be over. Well, now we're up to the point where it just takes 1 more attack to defeat her, so we'll use 1 more Renzoku-kin to have a nice cinematic finisher for her. There's now a long series of cutscenes that we'll go through to wrap up the story, and we'll also get our remaining 2 trophies as a part of this. Is it over? Let's go. Let's go back to our time. Shut up! Just calm down and think where we have to go. Careful guys, don't pick the wrong time! Whatever you do, don't fall into a time warp. time, place, who I want to be with. I want to go there, where Squall and I promised. Squall! Squall, let's go home. Where are you? Where am I? Squall, where are you going? I'm gonna find Sis. Squall. Matron. Excuse me, have you seen a little boy? You don't have to worry. The boy won't go anywhere. I think so too. Poor thing. You're alive? The sorceress? Yes, matron. We had defeated her. Matron, stand back. It's okay. There's no more need to fight. That sorceress is just looking for someone to pass her powers on to. In order to die in peace, a sorceress must be free of all her powers. I know, for I am one too. I shall take over that sorceress's powers. I do not want one of the children to become one. I can't disappear yet. Matron. Is this the end? Most likely. You called me matron. Who are you? A seed. A seed from Balam Garden. Seed? Garden? Both garden and seed were your ideas. Garden trains seeds. Seeds are trained to defeat the sorceress. What are you saying? You're that boy from the future? Matron. Please return. You do not belong here. I can't find Sis. Am I all alone? Who's he? Nobody. You don't need to worry. The only squall permitted here is you. Do you know where to go back to? Do you know how? Will you be alright by yourself? I'll be alright, matron. Because I'm not alone. I'm not alone. If I call out, they will answer. Where is everyone? Renoa, where are you? Zell, Selfie, Quistis, Irvine, Renoa! Am I alone? Renoa, I want to hear your voice. Which way do I go? I can't make it back alone. Renoa? Am I all alone again? Where am I? And at this point, we get the end of game trophy or achievement for beating Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, and we also get the Lionheart Platinum trophy for getting all other trophies or achievements.
Last night here for you, same old songs, just once more. My last night here with you, maybe yes, maybe no. I kind of lied it your way, how you shyly placed your eyes on me. Did you ever know that I had mine on you? Darling, so there you are, with that look on your face, as if you never heard, as if you never down. Shall I be the one for you, who pinches you softly but sure?
Congratulations, my friends! You just beat Final Fantasy VIII Remastered and gotten all the trophies and achievements along the way. I hope that you enjoyed this video series as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to join our amazing community and to stay up to date on all my future projects. And don't forget to check out my channel where I've got guides for many more games that I'm sure you're going to love. I'll see you soon in a future project. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.